Good morning, church family. Pastor Ben here with the Church Scattered, a daily devotional to offer you encouragement and hope from God's Word. As you can see, I'm in our CW auditorium right now, and it's only been a couple weeks, but I cannot wait until we can gather in here again to hear the Word preached, to sing together, just to be together and have fellowship and encouragement as a church family. But for now, I'm excited to encourage you with these daily devotionals. One of the effects of COVID-19 is that it's reminded all of us of our mortality. It's reminded us that we live in a world that is broken, where there is sickness and disease and death. And so it forces us to ask the question, why is the world this way? And is there anything we can do about it? Is there any hope for life after death? We know from the Bible that the world is this way, that disease and sickness and death are the reality because of sin. Death is the penalty that we deserve because of our sin, because of our rebellion against God. Physical death is part of it, but it's also spiritual death. It's dying physically and then being separated from God forever. That's spiritual death. And this is what is just, what is fair, based on how we've chosen to not acknowledge God, not trust Him, not obey Him. So is there any hope? Is there any hope of, even though we die physically, not dying spiritually, of being made alive, of having new life, of not being separated from God forever, but being with Him forever? And there is hope, and His name is Jesus. And Jesus talks about this in John chapter 11. He's talking to Martha here, who's the same Martha, sister of Mary, that we looked at last week in one of our devotions. But this is in John chapter 11, starting in verse 25. He says, "I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me, even if he dies, will live. Everyone who lives and believes in me will never die. Do you believe this?" See, Jesus came to this earth to pay the penalty for our sin. He died on the cross in our place, taking our penalty so that we could be forgiven. So that although we will die physically, as he says here, we will live. We will live eternally with Him on a new heavens and new earth where everything will be made new. Eternity will be one where there is no more disease or sickness or death. And that's the hope that we have to look forward to because of Jesus. And it's hope for those who answer His question there in John 11 of, do you believe this? With, yes, I do believe it. I do trust in you, Jesus. And so let me ask you, do you believe this? Do you have hope of life after death? Because here's the thing. We are all going to die. This coronavirus pandemic will come and go, but the reality is all of us are going to face death at some point. And so, do you have hope? I would encourage you to acknowledge your sin and trust in Jesus and have the hope of life after death, life in the new heavens and new earth with no more death.